I did not expect this to happen, chat, but unfortunately, they're saying sWooZie has allegations. So we're gonna react to sWooZie having allegations. Look, I don't know if any of this is true, but we're gonna see what's going on. Probably react to some Instagram reels today. Try to switch it up a little bit. Yeah, coming off a 6 Mile PR today. I'm so tired. I'm so tired right now, dude.
It is worse than you can imagine. He says, I did what any red-blooded male would do. The girl gets out of the hot tub and is crying because of what he did to her in the hot tub while she was... And she has a boyfriend, by the way.
He leaves out the very key part about the girl initiated. I left a comment.
Wait,
like, hey bro, if this is an accountability check, I appreciate it. If this is you trying to just get views, not cool. I go back and check for my comment, and it's not there. I can't find it. I want to make you laugh. I want to make you think. I'm trying to put positivity back into the world.
It seems TikTok is trying to cancel one of the OGs of animated story times, that being sWooZie, after a guy came on TikTok and tried to expose him for what he claimed was sWooZie telling a story about SA and how he had done that to a girl that was drunk inside of a hot tub, causing sWooZie to get on the internet and have to clear everything up when this guy basically doesn't even post on YouTube anymore, let alone get on TikTok. It's pretty muddy and sad at certain points. This seems like the guy was just chasing for views, but I don't want to yap too much, so I don't want to start from the very beginning with who even are any of these people in case you're unaware.
I got this. I go over, right on the wristband. My hands are like shaking as I write this. You guys see this?
Bro,
I am sweating retelling this story.
For anyone who doesn't recognize him or is somehow too young and watching this video and doesn't know who sWooZie is, he is an OG of animated story times. He even made his way before adding some animations, just straight up propping up a camera and telling stories about his life. He's been doing YouTube for years on top of years, around like 20 plus, and has garnered millions of followers across multiple different platforms from YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all of that. And recently somebody got on TikTok to talk about their gripes with sWooZie, but it wasn't just like a normal hate video. He had some serious accusations, that being of SA, that sWooZie apparently is trying to hide from the world in a deleted video.
I do not like sWooZie at all because he sat down and animated a video about SA. I'll get to that. First things first though, he brands himself as a family-friendly channel, but half the videos are like, and then I made out with this girl, and then we got drunk, I made out with this girl, and she was crazy, and this and that. And I'm like, if most of your stories are about weird situationship, flirtationships that failed, and you're making out with people, it's like, that's not like fun for all ages. It's kind of like preteen. Like you could have those stories, but don't market yourself as a family channel if you're having those stories. You know what I mean? But the animation style is cute and kitty, but the subject matter is different. And let's get to that with this video.
I mean, he could say that, right? But like, basically that's just PG-13, bro. Like in PG-13 movies, okay, they gonna kiss here and there. They're not gonna freaking, you gotta go see nipple or nothing like that. Like, that's PG-13, bro. Like, I low-key feel like he pushing it, I ain't gonna lie. But I understand what he's saying, but I low-key feel like he ODing it.
It is worse than you can imagine, okay? It was called Girls Gone Wild New Year's Eve style. It still exists on Internet Archive if you type up the name and look on Reddit. It's so bad. He basically is like, I'm at a New Year's Eve party with a bunch of people. We're all hanging out. We're all in a hot tub. And then this girl's in the hot tub and she's hammered and she's like pressing up on me. And I'm quoting him here. He says, I did what any red-blooded male would do. And then she gets out of the hot tub and he even talks about like, I want to have a moral compass, but give me 30 minutes. It's not midnight yet. Like, what the
Yeah.
dude, what are you talking about?
Yeah, to all my younger dudes or dudes around my age, never try to do anything with a drunk girl. Please. I'm actually like begging you right now. Please don't be one of those guys, man. Please. I'm actually like genuine, like don't be one of those guys, man.
So then the girl gets out of the hot tub and is crying because of what he did to her in the hot tub while she was. She has a boyfriend, by the way, and he basically tells his friend, yo, lie to me if anyone asks about me, say you don't know me, because if the boyfriend comes for me, I'm gonna have to fight him. Like, dude, you committed a crime. You've committed a crime, dude, with a person in a hot tub.
Okay,
that's
but where is he getting his
thing
evidence,
ever
though?
to post
Like,
that on the internet. He put it on the internet like, this is a good story. I'm the hero of this story. That's ludicrous, dude. Oh my god. And no one called him out for it, but he deleted the video, so evidently he knows how bad it is.
Regardless if you hate sWooZie or like sWooZie, hearing accusations like this on any creator is insane, especially to have them posted on the internet.
Yo, y'all know I just recently learned like T Nichols got uncanceled for being a Fred. I just seen one of his videos on my For You page. I was like, you know, T Nichols? And to my surprise, it actually was. I don't know how he beat that, but hey, it's none of my business.
He took everything that he said at face value and didn't think he was embellishing or making anything up. This is terrible and sounds like one of the most heinous things you can do. And to add a cherry on top of it, apparently him deleting the video makes everything 10 times worse. And let me tell you, it wasn't just him that was getting his hate train off on sWooZie, it was the comments as well. Now the original the video is deleted, so I can't pull up any comments and show you, but I did see it when it was originally posted, and they were eating that man sWooZie alive, calling him all types of crazy things, saying that they wished for his downfall, saying that they knew he was a weirdo behind the scenes and that he had to be this and that. And what a lot of people were asking was hoping they could see the clip, because at no point in time during his video did he pull up the original video and show parts that he talked about. He just straight up told the story himself, and from what he said, it seems like the craziest, most worst thing that could possibly happen. So obviously me, I wanted to pull up the video and actually show y'all some of the snippets that he talked about, mainly being the actual touching and what occurred inside of the hot tub, before we get to sWooZie's response, because he does end up talking about the situation.
And suddenly, I feel Kim's leg just pressing up against mine. Now, some of y'all might recall when I referenced my bad boy days. Well, that's kind of what we're operating in this story. Once it became obvious that Kim pressing her leg up against mine was intentional, my hand kind of reflexively just moved on her thigh. My New Year's resolution at that time was actually going to be to set up a moral compass, try to go out of my way to be a really good guy, because a lot of the guys that I knew around me at the time were just dogs. Try to be a better person, and hopefully that'll improve other aspects of my life. And you know, it's not midnight yet, so give me a minute. I get out and walk over, and he's like, Donde, what were you doing in the hot tub? What do you mean, what was I doing in the hot tub? You know, just getting my swerve on. Okay, well, Kim is crying her brains out right now. Crying? Wait, why is she crying? Well, she said you were doing stuff in the hot tub. Is that true? Harry, come on, man. The girl was pushing all up on me. What do you want? I did what any red-blooded male would have done in that situation. Okay, and I just used my hands and I went very slow, so she could have stopped me at any point. Harry's like, okay, well, she's pretty upset about it right now. By the way she was talking in the car, it sounds like she's gonna tell her boyfriend about this.
Yeah. I tried to stand 10 toes for sWooZie, but it's not looking good, bro. Yo. What is he talking about, dude? It's not looking good for him, bro. I'm sorry.
Mute that. Just mute that right. No. She didn't tell me she had no boyfriend. If any of those girls ask you about me, say you don't know me, you don't know where I live, none of that. Because if you tell any of them where I live, and Kim goes and tell her boyfriend, and he shows up at my house, I'm gonna have to give him a preview of Matrix 4.
Certain things I also want to clear up before I dive into the clips I just showed you. This video, even though the guy in the original TikTok did talk about it being deleted, was deleted a while ago. It wasn't deleted because he saw this TikTok. It wasn't deleted randomly earlier this year. It was deleted a while ago, like years ago. In that video, you can tell how old it was, but not only the animation style, but just by how bad the storytelling was overall. Now, things inside this video probably were not told in the best way possible. I can definitely say that, but even in this video, you can see that he definitely left out some context of her initiating in some way. They are, again, intoxicated. I left out those parts because YouTube will definitely take this video down if I was to leave them in here. Along with the fact that when he was approached with this information that she was crying, he was genuinely remorseful for it. Along with the fact that he didn't even know she had a boyfriend. A lot of things were just left out of his original video that added context to make people understand not only why he was telling the story, but the overall way the actual story got told. And this is him being younger. This isn't like him being in his 20s or partying out when he's like really older. This story was around the time he was a teenager. Like, I think he said 15, 16, around that time. Still a pretty young kid. And I'll be honest, I watching the entire story, even in the supercut that I did, I left out some context. When he's talking about him being a bad boy or him wanting to have an actual moral compass, that was because he saw the rest of his friends making out with the girls in the hot tub and doing other things that he did not want to do. And that's what he meant when he said that. It was meant to be a little joke in contrast to to the things that he was actually seeing. Now, it might seem like I'm defending him a lot, but I just want to add as much context as possible, even though I do feel like the way that he told the story probably wasn't the best way.
Yeah,
he
that's
definitely
what I'm
could have
saying,
done it,
like,
because there are some parts where it's like, dang, you really didn't have to say that, or you really didn't have to show that. It's not the way that the guy in the original TikTok is framing it as this crazy outlandish story where he just took advantage of this girl, sat there, watched her crying, and was talking about, well, I did what any red-blooded man would do in that situation, as if he is trying to diminish her feelings. That's really just not the case at all. And because of the way that he told the story and the way that he did things, sWooZie ended up getting on his own TikTok account to try and clarify stuff.
So this hot tub situation, 15 or so years ago, I uploaded a video. It's a story time, New Year's Eve. Me and 2 other guys were in a hot tub. These 3 girls jump in the hot tub, they've been drinking. Guy to my left is the only person that knows these 3 girls. Me and the guy in front of me, never seen these girls ever in our life. The guy and girl in front of me, they start going at it. The girl next to me starts touching me underwater. She initiates. That's a very key detail. It starts with hand touching and it ends with hand touching. We all get out of the hot tub. The girl that was next to me starts crying and then she goes, I have a boyfriend. Last night I opened up my phone and I stumbled onto this TikTok with this.
You know, I kind of feel like, I'm not taking sWoozie's side, but like, what if, right, she was like using gator tears to like sway the feeling that she just cheated on her boyfriend intentionally? That's a possibility. Y'all can't lie. That's a possibility, bro.
Dude is talking about this hot tub video. Some more context, I was a teenager when this hot tub story happened. Had not even had my first kiss, if that tells you my level of experience at this point. He's talking about the story, but he leaves out the very key part about the girl initiating. So now you can spin a story like this very easily, which is exactly what he did. I left a comment, like, hey bro, if this is an accountability check, I appreciate it. If this is you trying to just get views, not cool. I go back and check for my comment, and it's not there. I can't find it. I had no intentions of jumping on here and giving the full context, but now I have to.
He definitely.
If you've ever seen one of my story times, you know I usually put messages in them. I tell you the story, something crazy happened, and
now the only thing I don't know is like if both parties are under the influence and something happens. Look, I don't know because I don't drink. You feel me? So I don't know. But that's just something somebody got to figure out the hard way. Hey, go ahead and take Allegation City for me. I'm not doing it.
And here's the message. Overtone, sometimes an undertone. In this particular message, it was a warning to men. In that video when I made it, I wasn't as good of a storyteller as I am now. If I had to do it all over again, I would have underlined a little bit more what my actual message was. Like, guys, be careful.
There's still more to this apology, but I want to cut it right there just to talk about that small portion where he definitely does clear up certain things that people probably didn't hear from his video, being that yes, she did initiate it, which I showed y'all from the clips, and yes, he was still younger teen, like 16, 15, around that time. Apparently never even had his first kiss. It was navigating a different scenario, also trying to show guys why you should not do stuff like this, but admits that,
hey, I'm trying to pay attention to the video, but I can't when there's a random baby just dropping milk. What are you doing? This is what the game is. This is Cuphead, right? What are these levels, bro?
he is not the best storyteller in the world, which makes sense for why he probably wanted to delete this video. Because if you look at any of sWooZie's most recent animations where they touch on heavy topics that are anything like this or anything adjacent to this, they're definitely going to be told in a very sensitive way. But in this video, even though he is still trying to have a lesson for a lot of people, was having a lot of jokes, it wasn't told in the most serious manner to get across what he was trying to say. Again, y'all probably won't get that from like the supercut that I showed y'all of just like the main things that the other guy said in the TikTok, but trust me, it was not some of the best storytelling, especially for a heavy topic such as this. So I can understand why he would want to take the video down, because it doesn't reflect how he would see these topics in the modern day, or how the storytelling would go if he was to redo it now.
I'm not trying to be a fake family-friendly channel. I talk about these things because I'm trying to give brotherly advice that I never got. So I'm going to talk about hookups, alcohol, relationships, situationships, because I'm trying to give the big brotherly advice that I never got. And I'm sure that a lot of people never got. I want to make you laugh. I want to make you think. I'm trying to put positivity back into the world. That's my mission statement. Same way people lie on you, they lie on me. People are going to come at you sideways, initiate something, and then when you react, they're going to retell the story, omitting the stuff that they did, and just talk about your reaction. Happens to me too. I delete videos, I remove pictures off my Instagram. We all do it. We all have our reasons. Some stuff we post in 2015, we don't want out there in 2025. I address very serious topics in a very mature way. And I don't like revealing stuff like this, but if you really pay attention to the videos, I'm the passive protagonist, which means I usually just sit by and crazy crap happens to me. So if I'm just sitting here and a ratchet map spawns on top of me, I'm gonna talk about it to try to help Anybody else navigate the same thing if they find themselves in a situation that they're uncomfortable with or that they're not prepared for. If I found myself in a situation and I can share my experience on here and help a million people not make the same mistake that I made, I'm gonna make that video. I'm not perfect. So to the guy who made that video or anybody else who might wanna chime in, ask yourself before you go putting other people's name in your mouth, would I want somebody else making a video like this about me? For anybody who's still rocking with me, I will take this time right now to say I love you all very much. And it doesn't matter who you are, people in your circles will say junk about you. People outside your circle will say junk about you. So if you hook up with somebody and they've been drinking, be very cautious, especially if you don't know this person.
I know I might seem like the biggest sWooZie defender throughout this entire video, but I just want to add as much context as possible because someone having these allegations on them is very serious and should be taken as seriously as possible. And people will go out of their way nowadays to not even try and look for information or clarify certain things that they heard. So I want to make sure y'all have as much context as possible too. Even if you don't want to accept sWooZie's apology or sWooZie's explanation, you're able to do that knowing the full context that happened, seeing the old clips, seeing what the guy said compared to what actually happened, and even having sWooZie's input to explain even further why he said or did the things that he did. Because a lot of people, after not only watching sWooZie's video but looking up the old video and watching the entire thing, came to a very different conclusion than the guy who made that original TikTok. And I'm assuming he not only saw sWooZie's explanation of it, but also was getting flooded with a bunch of comments defending him, that he had to get on the internet and actually apologize and take accountability for what he had done in that original TikTok that again is now deleted.
Hey sWooZie, here's the comment that you said I deleted. I did not delete it. So either you deleted it or something crazy happened. I didn't delete it. I want everyone to see it. Secondly, I will admit that I made a very final claim about what the contents of that video were. I still think the whole thing was kind of odd, but I definitely should have spoken about something this serious with much more sensitivity, much less finality, okay? And I ask anyone that wants to go seek out that hot tub video to form their own opinion on it, okay? But the way I went about it was completely wrong. You know, no sense to it. So I'm privating that video.
I can't lie,
it might be reposted somewhere. I'm privating that video. The lesson here, kids, is don't make very final claims about things that are very serious.
Accountability.
And to form your own opinion on things. And to just think before you leap. I did not in this case, and I will own that. And that is the last I will be talking about this.
Even someone as small as me, being a commentary YouTuber, knowing I cover serious topics or might cover news that could affect a creator's lives, it is very important on how you go about saying and doing certain things when you provide information to people. You cannot be absolute in a lot of things that you're saying, because no matter how small you may think you are, how irrelevant your video might be, there is still a chance it might blow up. It's going to reach a certain audience. It's going to affect this creator in some way, just like it happened in this sWooZie incident. That's why through this entire video, I tried to provide as much context as possible, that even if you still disagree with what sWooZie did, you disagree with how we explained it, at least you have the full context and can come to your own conclusion based on everything that was actually done, and aren't just listening to my retelling of the entire events without providing any clips, without showing things that people said. That is one of the worst ways you can do things, because people will just fill in the gaps their own way and think of the worst possible scenarios, and that's something you learn the more you're on the internet or the more you make content. And whether you feel like this creator made a mistake or was intentionally being malicious, there were definitely things that could be learned on both sides of this altercation. At the end of the day though, that is just my opinion. If you want to tell me your opinion, the best place to do would be the comment section down below. This video was unfortunately over, but if you did enjoy this video, maybe consider giving it a like. And if you enjoy content like this, then maybe consider subscribing, so I post like this every single week. Don't miss out on a single upload if you hit that bell icon, because you'll be notified the millisecond.
Alright. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. My ear just popped about a minute ago, and I can hear everything in 4K right now.